Well, forget storks. Flamingos have delivered newborns to Auckland Zoo. In the past fortnight, 2 chicks have hatched, the latest born to very rangy parents, Lizzie and Nelson. Carl Ashworth, team leader birds at Auckland Zoo, says the newest flamingo chick is doing great after busting out of its very super reinforced egg.
He's doing really, really well, yeah. Feeding really well off mum and dad. He's starting to wander around now and find his feet, which is really great. So he's hitting all the milestones that we want him to hit. So, yeah, we're really pleased.
So you know he's a he already?
Well, we don't know. That's unfortunate. We won't know that until he's probably a year and a half. So the females are quite a lot smaller than males. So we'll just have to wait and see.
I don't know much about these majestic creatures, so can you just explain a bit to us? I mean, what do they come in? An egg the size of a kiwi egg, or is it like your number 8 4 to an omelette, or what's the deal?
It's about probably quarter the size of a kiwi egg, so not that big. They're quite special eggs, though. They're covered in a really thick calcium, which is quite unusual for eggs. And the reason for that is in the wild they can get rolled around in the mud and then get a lot of salt on them, and that still enables them to be able to breathe. So it's quite an important part of their development, really. So
is it a bit of an effort for them to bash their way out of that then?
Oh, yeah, it's quite a tiring job, yeah. So it can take a couple of days from when they, what we call externally pip, so that's when they break, the outer shell. But they have a little, what's called an egg tooth on their bill, which disappears after they hatch, and that helps them to break out. But it's quite a tiring process. So when they first come out, they're all wet and they look very tired, and then mum will sit on them for a while and then warm them up, and then they'll start to look fluffy with their little fat pink legs. So that's when they start to look like proper flamingo chicks.
Here's the thing, Carl. I've had a look at this little one, and he's kind of greyish, right? Why is he not pink?
So they're not pink straight away because that's down feather, so that's to keep them nice and warm while they're young, and they won't start to develop the pink feathers until they're about a year and a half old. But the parents feed them what's called crop milk, which is bright red. It looks a bit like a colour of blood, and that's actually their own colouring, their own pink colouring, giving it to the chick.
So what is that milk then?
So it's actually the lining of their crop, so their throat essentially, and then they regurgitate that and feed the chick. So the chicks have a special groove in their bill, and so do the parents, and they kind of hook it in, and they slowly dribble that food down into their throat to feed them, and that's got all the nutrients and everything that the chick needs.
So mum and dad here, do they hang around and raise this bird?
Yeah, so they both parents are both active with the chick, so they both.
So this is Lizzie and Nelson.
Yeah, this is Lizzie and Nelson. So they both feed it, they both look after it in equal amounts. So they share nesting, they share feeding and the rearing of the chick and teaching it to swim. So they both do the whole 9 yards for it.
So when is it going to get those big rangy long legs? How long before it gets to full height?
It will be probably about a year and a half to 2 years before it's a full-grown flamingo.
Okay, so you guys obviously not for profit. I see there's a bit of an opportunity here to be involved with the flamingos. Can you tell us a bit about that?
Yeah, so we're doing a really exciting Trademe auction at the moment. So you'll be able to come to the zoo and get to weigh one of the flamingo chicks, which is, quite a special experience. And the reason we do that, we track the weight of the chick, so we're making sure it's reaching the milestones that he's supposed to and growing exactly, the right amount and putting the same amount of weight on that we want him to. So you'll be able to come in and do that, and then we'll give you a little tour of the forest, Avery, and take you around, show you all the different birds. So that's up on Trademe at the moment.
Cool. Who gets to name it?
Well, maybe the person that wins the auction. We will see. So we're going to ask for different names and then pick the best one.
Carl, in a lifetime, how many chicks would a flamingo have?
So flamingos are quite long-lived, so they can live up to 60 years old. I would expect them to start breeding around 4 to 5 years old, and they will carry on, I would say, until they're pretty old, so into their 40s.
Okay.
So that's quite a lot.
Now, we love a good collective noun here at Checkpoint. So, can you tell us what the collective noun is for a bunch of flamingos?
It is a flamboyance, which is pretty awesome.
It's great and seems highly appropriate. Are they flamboyant?
They're extremely flamboyant, yes. So in the wintertime, when you come to the zoo, you'll see them, what they're doing, they're flocking rituals. So they'll be all very noisy and all running up and down together and flagging their heads.
And that was Carl Ashworth from Auckland Zoo.